news, gossip, celebrity interviews with limited knowledge and accuracy in sports and politics. And now, your host, celebrity publicist, Domenick Nati.
That's right, it's Friday, and it is time for the Domenick Nati Show on Intellectual Radio in Chicago and iHeartRadio. Wow! Yes! We have another good one for you today. Today's guest is Nati by Nature! Nati by Nature is our guest today. Specifically, I will be speaking with Vinrock. Now, it is not just me speaking. I got my brother-in-law to help me with this interview because I don't know a ton about music. Of course, I know about Nati by Nature. I'm super cool, and I'm old. So I know I grew up with them, but we talked a little more in-depth about music. So I used my brother-in-law for this interview. He joined me because he is a drummer. He's actually a rock drummer, and he drummed for a little group called Good Charlotte. I don't know if they're punk rock. They're some sort of rock band that he was the drummer for, so he knows a lot about music. So we chopped it up with Nati by Nature on today's show. Now, 2 weeks ago, we had Waboom from The Bachelorette. I never spoke about this last week, but Waboom from The Bachelorette was our guest 2 weeks ago. Wow. I interviewed him right before we aired it, so I didn't know what was going to happen. That interview got picked up a lot. The Hollywood Reporter wrote a story about it. OK Magazine wrote a story about it. It got pretty crazy with that interview. He said some stuff to us that were pretty surprising about the show. He admitted to us that he was not on the show for love. You guys remembered, it was 2 weeks ago. And that was in the press for about a week straight. So I encourage you on that one to go back and listen to everything that he said. The story from the Hollywood Reporter is not exactly what he said. I always try to help out our guests when they get in the press. I know we did this last week with Miss USA, and I read all the comments from what was being posted about her, because you know how it goes here. People talk to us, and then the press picks it up. So again, go back, listen to that. If you're reading these articles in the press that are getting picked up, I encourage you to go back and listen to our guests' words verbatim, because it is only fair. And for some reason, things get twisted around here on the Domenick Nati Show, but that is not our intention. I released the full interviews so that you can hear yourself what our guests are saying. That is not happening today. Nati by Nature, we have no problems with them. This is a great interview. I asked Vinrock some questions that I've wanted to know. Specifically, obviously, the Tupac movie is what everyone's talking about. All eyes on me. Now, I have a stance on Tupac. I am from upstate New York. Tupac is from Harlem, born and raised until he was 17, and then he moved out west. So one thing, as an East Coast rap fan, I know you guys are in the Midwest, but just bear with me here. Somebody from Harlem leaving when he's 17 and then starting a beef with New York. So as an East Coast guy, that's something that always kind of bothered me. And I wanted to ask Vinrock what he thought, being from New Jersey, when Pac did that. When you sat there on the East Coast and realized, wait a minute, why is this guy starting all this problem and he's not even really from the West Coast? I mean, he is, but he isn't. So that's something I've always wanted, and I always want to ask people that. So I got to ask Vinrock about it, and he actually cleared it up pretty well for me. He gave me some insight that I did not see before. You are going to hear that. Also, I had a big week this week. So on Tuesday, I don't use this website called Reddit, but my friends do, and apparently there are millions of people on it. And a year ago is when I had a viral video with Shaquille O'Neal. What it is, walked in, and Shaquille was doing a photo shoot. This is June of 2016 at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. So they say, no cell phone photography. We take the picture of you and Shaq, and we'll post it, and you guys can get the picture tomorrow. I could not wait that long because I'm a huge Shaq fan. So what I did was I took my phone and I was recording me and Shaq together secretly while we took the photo. Unbeknownst to me, Shaq caught me recording him, and he mean-mugged my photo. Now, this is a viral video. It has been seen millions and millions of times on the internet. Also, it was posted on Instagram from SportsCenter and a lot of other sports places. You may have seen it and not realize I'm the fat guy in the video. It's me, Chubby Dom. So for some reason, Reddit posted this video on their homepage this last Tuesday, just a few days ago. I don't know how to use Reddit, but somebody just did it a year later. And, of course, my Twitter, @KingOfContacts, started blowing up. This video that's a year old, people started retweeting it. I was like, what the heck is going on? And I realized it was on Reddit. And guess what? It got almost 5 million views in one frickin' day on Reddit. 4.2 million, I think it was, the last time I checked. I don't know what it is. People love seeing Shaq making a mean face at my phone. Anyway, Shaq caught me. His people have reached out to me since then. So, my buddy Shaq. Anyway, check that out. Go to reddit.com, or you can go to @KingOfContacts on Twitter. Check out that video. But I'm just bragging. That has nothing to do with today's show. I'm just letting you guys know I was seen 5 million times today. Don't read the comments, because people made a lot of mean, fat jokes at me because my man boob was kind of blocking the shot a little bit. What do you want me to do? I'm fat. It's not a big deal, people. Check that out, and we will be right back, me and my brother-in-law, Nate Fouts, with Naughty by Nature right after this awkward drop from Bill Cosby.
5, 4, 3, 2, go.
This is Bill Cosby, and you're
not Bill Cosby.
Oh, you're Bill Cosby.
Yes, I am.
And this is the best radio show in Virginia.
Good for you.
What?
No, what do you want?
I was wanting you to say you're Bill Cosby, because that in your voice to prove that you've actually been on the show.
Why would they not believe that I was on the show after you played a tape of me?
I guess it's
help me out.
Other radio shows do this, and we're trying to compete with them by getting a big name.
Well, you have that. You have Bill Cosby, and I am a big name.
Anyway, Bill's a big fan of the show.
Yes, I am.
Right. He's listening.
And you know why? So far, this is the only program I've listened to. Just the one with me on it.
Yes. Right. That's the only one.
That's why it's my favorite.
So if Bill's listening, you should be too.
And my name is Bill Cosby, and I approve this message.
This is the Domenick Nati Show on iHeartRadio and Intellectual Radio. Do you have a business and are looking for a creative and effective way to market your product or services? Are you an entertainer or recording artist looking for a captive audience to display your talent to? The Domenick Nati Show is now offering on-air commercial advertising for as low as $50. Your product or talent will be presented by celebrity publicist Domenick Nati and be seen on our social media accounts and on iHeartRadio and select stations throughout the country. Send us a message on social media at Dom Nati Show or email DomenickNatiShow@gmail.com for more information. The Domenick Nati Show, maximum exposure, minimum censorship. You're listening to the Domenick Nati Show on iHeartRadio and Intellectual Radio.
We have the man himself on the line, going to be in D.C., Vin Rock from Naughty by Nature. Vin, how you doing?
Yo, how y'all doing out there, man? It's going to be great.
We're doing awesome, bro, man. We're looking forward to it.
All right, cool. So, I actually want to go back a little bit with you. Now, back in the day, you guys were labeled as being mentored by Queen Latifah, another Jersey artist. Is that an accurate statement, or are you guys still in contact with her?
Actually, Queen Latifah is from our same hometown of East Orange, New Jersey. So she got put on, with the Flavor Unit. She created Flavor Unit and was on before us. So when we were a group called the New Style, we sought them out to help us out. So we were the first group signed to Queen Latifah's management company. So, with that, we got on her same label, Tommy Boy Records, and her and a partner, Shakim, they mentored us, you know, our whole career. So fast forward till today, we still have an incredible relationship with her. You know, we're developing some projects with them, television and film projects, and maintain a healthy relationship.
Now, also to talk about, too, now you guys also were known to have a good relationship with Tupac. Now, what do you, in your opinion, now, what do you think has changed in hip-hop since Pac and Biggie died?
Well, especially with Tupac, I think it's that social consciousness. You know, Tupac was so diverse. He could come with the thug and the gangster music, but that real conscious music, man, that's really what we're missing in hip-hop today. I think just people in general are so desensitized by the violence and, you know, the reckless politics in today's world that we kind of need to sit down and be human. We're becoming subhuman in our feelings and emotions and compassion these days. So I believe even with Tupac's passing, he had a lot more of that to bring to the table. And actually, I was just watching some documentary stuff on Tupac this weekend, and that was really the direction he was going in, you know, organizing people, having people in the ghetto and in the hood be self-sustained and kind of re-educating them. So we're definitely missing out on that in hip-hop today.
Well said.
Yeah. And another thing I want to ask you about this, too, because, you know, I'm actually from Buffalo, New York. I'm from upstate, you know, but I'm definitely, I love East Coast rap. And I actually just I lived in California for the last 3 years. And I mean, Pac is really, you know, he lived in Harlem till he was 17. Then he went out to the West Coast, and it seemed, you know, from a lot of fans and myself included, it's just like he just did a 180 and we like totally just denounced, you know, his Harlem roots. I mean, what do you feel like? Was it like that, or that's how it felt to East Coast rap fans, you know, at times, where it's like, well, this is a Harlem guy. Why is he just, you know, why is he just completely gone West Coast when he's from here? You know, I mean,
well, I think it was the West Coast that really nurtured his hip-hop, I guess, angle or his hip-hop position. So by the time he really started going hard and, you know, connecting with guys like Digital Underground, it was really West Coast based and his West Coast roots, you know? And then I think, you know, he never really denounced the East Coast or his Harlem roots. It was just that once he went back to connect with the East Coast guys, he felt crossed. So, you know, he felt safer in West Coast hands, and those people nurtured him in his late teens to early 20s.
Yeah. So in 2011, that's something I came across, which I found pretty pretty amazing. But in 2011, you guys got to play in Fenway Park, which is like the coolest baseball stadium ever. But I saw that it was actually part of a concert with New Kids on the Block and Backstreet Boys. Is that right? What can you tell me about that?
Yeah, what happened was Donnie Wahlberg called us out, New Kids on the Block.
Yeah.
They were having a show here in Radio City Music Hall. So he called us out because they have a song that sings Hey Ho on the chorus. So he thought it would be great that we came out and surprised his fans at Radio City Music Hall here in New York. And that was in 2010.
Okay.
So I guess he called out a bunch of other artists as well, but Naughty by Nature and the Backstreet Boys were two of the groups that actually showed up. So when I showed up, since I do all the marketing and the merchandise for Naughty by Nature, I thought it would be fly to combine both of our logos. So I showed up at Radio City with Naughty Kids on the Block T-shirts, you know. And it went over well, and we didn't mind, and we weren't worried about the backlash of even collaborating or supporting New Kids on the Block, because when we were early in the 90s, I mean, OPP was a crossover record, and we did a lot of touring with New Kids and Marky Mark back in the day. So for us, it was like a reunion. So we showed up at Radio City, and then eventually they put together the tour with the Backstreet Boys. So Donnie got to the point where, you know, that tour was up and running, and they knew they were doing Fenway. He called us and said, man, this tour is because of what you guys did, and in part what, you know, Backstreet Boys did, and we're at our hometown at Fenway Park. I can't do it without you guys, you know? And we actually had a date booked in Minneapolis. He was like, look, I really want you guys here. You deserve to be here. It's going to be an epic moment. I'll pay the promoter whatever he paid you guys. I'll absorb all the expenses, you know? And we made it happen. So we ended up making history, man. And Donnie Wahlberg is the man. And we learned a lot from the way he interacts and how he manages his fan base. So we look up to Donnie as the big OG, man.
Yeah, very cool.
I loved it.
And Donnie was a drummer, so I got to give him mad love as a drummer myself.
Yeah, Nate used to be a drummer for Good Charlotte.
There goes the name drop.
Oh, nice. Nice. Now, those are the twins, right? I guess one of those guys.
Yeah, Benji and Joel, the singers.
Yeah, he's knocked up by Nicole Richie.
That's right. A couple times.
Right.
Are you going to steal some of their dance moves with the Backstreet Boys?
No dancing there. We bring that grungy. We bring the grungy hip hop to the table. That's what we do to break up all that boy band.
That's
stuff.
right. That's right. Stay strong with that, man. Stay strong.
Hey, so the single you mentioned with Pitbull, right? Get to Know Me Better. Was that, now let me ask you about that. So you're doing some, like, I know you're not doing a ton of it, but you did a couple collaborations in the last 2 years. I mean, do you think that that's completely going to be necessary for a lot of these hip hop artists today to collab with pop artists?
I just think as musicians, it's good to collaborate. You know, I mean, no matter what genre you're in, it's okay to collaborate. Like, look at what Justin Timberlake is doing. You know, he started with NSYNC and all of that boy band pop stuff, but he's really transitioning into an R&B artist like Maxwell or one of those guys, you know?
Yeah.
And then for him to come and collaborate with Jay-Z on his new first single, I just think it's more of music and musical taste and artists who find it credible for their band to collaborate as opposed to worrying about what the public thinks or what have you, you know? So I think it's good to collaborate with other artists. I mean, and look at what Jay-Z has done with Rihanna, his collaborations with Rihanna or Kanye West or Beyonce. You know, those collaborations are what helped elevate him to what he's doing right now.
Yeah, I loved what he did with Linkin Park too. That was a pretty
Linkin Park as well. Yeah, and actually we're talking to Everlast from House of Pain, right? Because we went to the Montrose Jazz Festival and we rocked out with House of Pain for Tommy Boy Records' 30th anniversary. And Everlast was explaining to me that they were about to re-record Cypress Hill's first album with a live band and do a mashup like. So, you know, he was like, man, I would love to rock out with Naughty like that. So we're kind of talking about a collaboration like that and re-recording all of our greatest hits with a live band mashup with House of Pain band.
Right on. Yeah, I was actually talking about hitting up Be Real with an idea I had for one of his tracks. Maybe I'll hit you guys up with one too, do a drum remix for you.
Exactly. And look at what LL just did with
Travis.
Those guys. That was incredible. And I think we need that, man. We need that right now. And even right now with all of this pop stuff and the hip hop stuff, you kind of miss the Linkin Parks and the Good Charlottes and just the bands that rock out, like rock music. That's why I love Pink so much. She's keeping that, keeping that alive to me.
Yeah, the rocket, the edge that the live instruments, especially the live drums brings. I mean, I'm going to be biased about it, but yeah, the live drums bring to a show I think it's huge.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what do you have playing on your iPod right now? Give us a couple ideas.
You know what? To be honest, man, I don't even listen to music. I really don't.
I hear you.
I just listen to what's out there. And I'm engaged in whatever the hell is going on. There's so much coming at us and so much info coming right now, man. It's like hard to keep up on it. But I think KG has more music in his iPod than I do.
Right.
And I'm over my homie's house right now. So he said when Tretch comes over, all he's listening to is his own fucking music.
So one quick question too. Now rap groups are not as prominent in today's music. I mean, do you think that that's because a lot of these artists today are so self-absorbed that they're not willing to share the spotlight? I mean, is that a good take on it, or what do you think?
I think corporate America has a grip on the music industry as a whole, and there's small cliques of people who are putting one another on, and there's no real artist development or A&R anymore. It's just small gangs of guys controlling the music industry right now. So that's why you're getting the strip club music that basically hip hop has dwindled down to right now. And you know, hopefully it'll change. And that's one thing I do love about the internet and, you know, the independent artist atmosphere, that corporate America could do what they want and they could keep playing the same 5 to 10 records all they want. But that underground swell will always remain relevant, and all of your new artists will remain coming from the underground. So it's nothing they can do about it. And what you hear on the radio doesn't represent total musicianship that's out there. You know, a lot of people are just simply boxed out right now.
Right.
Yeah. No, we totally, I totally agree with you. What you're saying, it's just, you got to stay flexible because, you know, this is a totally different game than it was, you know, 15, 20 years ago. What do you think, like, do you have a stance on PR? We like to talk about it. You know, I mean, do you have any opinions about the importance of PR?
Yeah, I mean, and even for us right now, it's like we don't have distribution. We don't have a record label. Everything we're doing is self-contained. So that's the most important asset we have besides our booking agency is our publicist. And because we have a name and a legacy and an international fan base, if you have a proper publicist and media strategist who could help, you know, publicize what you're doing and get it out there, your blogs, the people who have been fans of yours, they're going to pick up on what you're doing and support you, you know, and it costs a fraction of what it's costing the labels right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we we totally agree with that. I'm really glad you said that. So let's have a little fun. So Nate's last name is Fouts. Now what we do, you do this with everybody. We do Fouts Fast 5. It's 5 random questions.
Didn't make no sense half the time.
Right. It's just rapid fire. So we're gonna throw them at you. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Number 1, who are you more afraid of, Shaquille O'Neal or his wife Shawnee O'Neal?
Shawnee O'Neal.
Good answer. Number 2, favorite country artist?
Oh, Tim McGraw.
All right. Number 3, have you ever used the phrase radical, bro?
No, I haven't.
Good. Number 4, Pauly Shore or Jersey Shore?
Jersey Shore. I'm from Jersey, baby.
I knew you'd say it. All right. Number 5, better public speaker, Mike Tyson or George Bush?
Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool. Guys, they are naughty by nature. Vin, thank you so much for being on the show.
All right, no problem. Thanks for having me, bro.
Hey, it's your girl, Amber Rose, and you're listening to the Domenick Nati Show.
This is the Domenick Nati Show on iHeartRadio and Intellectual Radio. Do you have a business and are looking for a creative and effective way to market your product or services? Are you an entertainer or recording artist looking for a captive audience to display your talent to? The Domenick Nati Show is now offering on-air commercial advertising for as low as $50. Your product or talent will be presented by celebrity publicist Domenick Nati and be seen on our social media accounts and on iHeartRadio and select stations throughout the country. Send us a message on social media at Dom Nati Show or email DomenickNatiShow@gmail.com for more information. The Domenick Nati Show, maximum exposure, minimum censorship. You're listening to the Domenick Nati Show on iHeartRadio and Intellectual Radio.
And we're back. Domenick Nati Show, Intellectual Radio, iHeartRadio. That was our exclusive interview with Naughty by Nature. Vin Rock from Naughty by Nature, specifically. What an interview. He was very transparent. Love that guy. He's the one basically in the group that does all the speaking and marketing. You guys get what I'm saying. So thank you, Vin Rock, for that great interview. Thank you for keeping us up to date with what you guys are doing. I can't wait to see them on tour and hear the new music that they're putting out. In other news, Mayweather-McGregor is going to happen. Now, I'm going to play a clip pretty soon of an interview that we had a few months ago with Randy Couture, an old UFC fighter. I asked him about this possibility of this Mayweather-McGregor fight a few months ago, and he gave me his thoughts on it. Now it is really happening. I'm going to play a clip of that interview in the next few weeks because you may have forgot what he said. Look at how we cover the news here. I'm always ahead of the curve. Anyway, that's not the point. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Naughty by Nature, for being our guest today. And we will see you next week on the Domenick Nati Show. So have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week.